So this is Jay. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Bharat Rawat, who also happens to be my brother. So I'll just do a quick intro and then I'll let him take away. So he's currently working as an associate director of cardiology and a lifestyle guide at Medanta Hospital in Indore. He did his DM in cardiology in 1998. And at that point, he was deputed as the executive director and head of cardiology department in Norvik Hospital in Kathmandu, Nepal, where he stayed for about 17 years. He was a personal cardiologist to the King and Prime Minister of Nepal, was basically a celebrity there. He has published many scientific papers, presented in many national and international conferences. He has also taken training in many other countries outside of India as well. But more than his professional qualifications as a cardiologist, he has taken a special interest in promoting healthier lifestyle for prevention of heart disease. So he's trying to get himself out of business by making sure that people are actually not even suffering from heart disease. So to that effect, he has written more than 600 articles, has given a TED talk, has authored a couple of books, and he himself is very much into fitness. He's a marathon runner and a nature lover, and believes in simple living. So his talk today is going to be about happy and healthy heart, how you can keep a happy heart, which was also going to be the healthy heart. So without further ado, Dr. Bharat Rawat.
Hi, everyone there. So first of all, thanks. What a wonderful way to start the new year. And I'm extremely happy and delighted that we'll be sharing some tips today evening that I have gathered over the last 25 years on a healthy and a happy heart. तो जैसे कि अभी आपको बताया गया कि कौन से दिल के बारे में बात होने वाली है, पर बात यह है कि दोनों ही दिल का ख्याल रखना है, क्योंकि वही तो फिर हैप्पी हार्ट होता है, और वो हैप्पी हार्ट आपके हेल्दी हार्ट के लिए भी जरूरी है। तो दोनों तरफ से अपने दिल का ध्यान रखना है। चलिए शुरू करते हैं, पहले हेल्दी हार्ट के ऊपर बात करते हैं। तो ये जो दिल है दोस्तों हमारा, ये पैदाइशी से लेकर मृत्यु के क्षण तक निरंतर धड़कता रहता है, और इसको निरंतर धड़कने के लिए एनर्जी चाहिए, और वो एनर्जी इसको मिलती है कोरोनरी आर्टरीज के द्वारा ब्लड सप्लाई से। द आर्टरीज दैट सप्लाई द मसल्स ऑफ द हार्ट are called coronary arteries, and when there is a blockage in those arteries, then you develop angina or a heart attack. Now the problem is that many symptoms of heart disease are also present in patients or people who do not have any heart disease, so they are not very specific. Like for example, like you have like chest pain. Now 70% people who visit emergency rooms of US hospitals do not have heart disease. Yes, almost 70% people visiting US emergency rooms because of chest pain, ultimately it is found that they don't have heart disease. तो अब आप हमारे पास मरीज आते हैं, डॉक्टर साहब देखिए ना हमारे हार्ट में पेन हो रहा है। मैं उनसे कहता हूं आप ये बोलो कि आपके छाती में दर्द हो रहा है, दिल में हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है ये हम बताएंगे, लेकिन नहीं जी आप खुद ही कहते हो नहीं जी डॉक्टर साहब मेरे हार्ट में पेन हो रहा है। And I tell you what, I mean, like most interesting thing is कि जब मैं convince कर देता हूँ आपको कि all your tests and everything we have done and there is nothing in the heart, आधे लोगों का तो मूड खराब हो जाता है। अच्छा जी कुछ नहीं निकला, हमें तो हार्ट में ही पेन हो रहा है। So sometimes we don't realize that every chest pain is not a heart pain. Similarly, you may have palpitations, you may have breathing difficulties, you may have fainting attacks, but all of these symptoms can also be there in patients who do not have any type of heart disease. So how do we know whether your heart is all right or not? So my first mantra of the today evening is walk and watch. चलें और देखें. So if you can walk 2 miles in 40 minutes roughly, and you don't have to stop because of chest pain, by and large you should be fine. So that is a very simple measure. Walk and watch, chale aur dekhein. 2 miles 40 minutes. So if you have to stop, नहीं डॉक्टर साहब बैठे बैठे तो कुछ नहीं होता है, तेज चलता हूं तो थोड़ा भारी लगता है और फिर रुकता हूं फिर ठीक हो जाता हूं. This is angina. So this could be a heart symptom. So therefore we all need to walk regularly, and that is very useful for many reasons, because it decreases your blood pressure, it decreases your weight, it decreases your cholesterol, sugars, it improves your mood, fitness, but also you get to know how is your heart condition. Now, on the other end, there could be a situation of heart attack where somebody has got severe chest pain, even at rest, and there's sweating and there's ghabrat. There's a sense of impending doom. So that is heart attack. So the heart diseases have two types of symptoms, angina or heart attack. So angina, I told you, you are fine at rest, and on exertion you get chest discomfort. A heart attack, उसमें बैठे बैठे ही तेज छाती में दर्द होता है, पसीना आता है, घबराहट होती है. Now my next mantra of today evening is what to do at the time of heart attack. What is the best emergency measure that you can take at home at the time of heart attack? So answer is that you can take 2 tablets of aspirin or Disprin. हाँ दोस्तों, 150 मिलीग्राम की 2 डिस्प्रिन अथवा एस्प्रिन अगर समय पे दी जाए तो हृदयघात से होने वाली मृत्यु की संभावना करीब 25% कम हो जाती है. So there is a risk reduction in mortality rate by 25% just by taking aspirin at the right time. And of course, the diagnosis is further confirmed by doing an ECG and a blood test, and that confirms that it's a heart attack. The treatment is mostly blood thinner medications, and we do an angiography and we open the artery by putting a stent. Now, instead of me telling you today evening how do we do angioplasty, I think it is better that I tell you how do you avoid angioplasties and how do you keep your heart healthy. So my mantra for the healthy heart, another mantra that today evening I'm giving you, is this English word called MADE. MADE, have I made my day? So you ask yourself before you retire in the night, have I made my day? MADE. So M stands for mental relaxation. A is avoid addiction. D is diet control, and E is exercise. So mental relaxation, of course, we will talk in part 2 of my talk. But दिन में 8-10 बार ठाका लाके हंसे, खुश रहें, आसानी से छोटी छोटी बातों पे गुस्सा ना करें, प्राणायाम करें, ध्यान करें. So that is mental relaxation. A is avoid addictions. We should try to see कि किसी तरह चीज का एडिक्शन ना हो. टोबैको का, स्मोकिंग का, अल्कोहल का, सोशल मीडिया का, देर रात को सोने का, मीठे का, any type of addiction is not good. Then third is D, diet control. तो अब डाइट में अगर बात करें थोड़ी सी, तो अब मेरा आपसे प्रश्न है कि आप खाने के लिए जी रहे हो कि जीने के लिए खा रहे हो? नहीं, आप बताएं कि अगर सपोज करो नेक्स्ट टाइम ये फिजिकल मीटिंग हो और ये जितेश जैन जी जो है वो 2 टेबल पे आपके लिए बाद में टॉक के बाद में स्नैक्स लगाते हैं, एक में कचौरियां रख दी जाएं और एक में एप्पल रख दिए जाएं, तो पहले क्या खत्म हो? तो हम जीने के लिए खा रहे होते हैं कि खाने की? और आप ये देखो कि ये हमारी जीभ जो 50 ग्राम की है, ये हमारे पूरे 70 किलो के वजन को कैसे खराब करती है, क्योंकि हम सिर्फ जीभ से ही मोहब्बत करते. तो अगर आपको कोई चीज अपने स्वाद के लिए खानी है तो उसको उस अनुपात में खाएं, थोड़ी मात्रा में खाएं, पर पूरा पेट भर के ना खाएं. दूसरा मैं आपसे निवेदन करना चाहता हूं कि उम्मीद करता हूं आप सब लोग अपना डिनर कर चुके हैं आज, तो हम लोगों का डिनर शाम का जो है वो 6:30-7 बजे हो जाना चाहिए. So that's another thing that we want to remember as far as food is concerned. We should try to cut down on salt and sugars. Both of them are not very healthy and not very essential part of our diet. Salt थोड़ी मात्रा में तो जरूरी होता है, लेकिन WHO data says that 1.5 million people die every year because of consumption of excessive salt. 1.5 million people die every year. 15 लाख लोग की मृत्यु होती है हर वर्ष नमक खाने से, ज्यादा नमक खाने से. तो सेव है, नमकीन है, अचार, पापड़, चटनियाँ, ये सब चीज़ें की जो हमको प्रोसेस्ड फूड, ये सब जो हमको आदत है, so that all results into the consumption of large amount of salt, and that is not good for health. So M, mental relaxation, A, avoid addictions, D, diet control, and E, exercise. आखिरी में सो मेरा आपसे निवेदन है कि हम सब करीब 40 से 50 मिनट हफ्ते में 5 दिन एरोबिक एक्सरसाइज करें, हफ्ते में 2 दिन मसल स्ट्रेंथनिंग की एक्सरसाइजेस करें, जिसमें आप कुछ डंबल्स कर सकते हैं, अपने वेट्स वगैरह ले सकते हैं, आप पुशअप करें, प्लैंक करें, स्क्वाट्स, और स्ट्रेचिंग, प्राणायाम, योगा, ये तो आप करीब करीब रोज ही करें। तो मुझे लगता है कि नियमित रेगुलर अगर आप एक्सरसाइज, तो अगर हम शाम का खाना कम और जल्दी खाएं, रात को 10 बजे के बाद ऑनलाइन ना रहें जहां तक हो सके, अच्छी नींद सोने का प्रयास करें, सुबह 6 बजे से पहले उठने का प्रयास करें, और फिर 1 घंटा एक्सरसाइज करें, दिन में 8-10 बार ठाका ला के हंसें, घर का बना हुआ खाएं, मीठे और नमक को कम में उपयोग लें, और एडिक्शन से दूर रहें, दिन में 8-10 बार ठाका ला के हंसें, मुझे लगता है कि आप स्वस्थ रहेंगे। तो दोस्तों, ये चीजें मैंने आपको कुछ बताई। हाउ कैन यू कीप योर हार्ट हेल्दी? ऑफ कोर्स आप अपना बीपी और शुगर, कोलेस्ट्रॉल की जांचें आप साल में एक दो बार करा लें, और अपने किसी डॉक्टर के संपर्क में रहें, और उसकी सलाह के अनुसार अगर आवश्यक हो तो दवाइयां, नहीं तो अपनी लाइफस्टाइल को ठीक रखने का प्रयास करें। नाउ लेट अस जस्ट ब्रीफली टॉक अबाउट हैप्पी हार्ट, and that essentially means not to be too stressed and try to live as relaxed, as peaceful as possible. मैं अपनी बात शुरू करता हूं एक छोटी सी कहानी से। काठमांडू में एक बहुत फेमस कॉफी की दुकान थी, बहुत दूर दूर से वहां लोग बाहर कॉफी पीने आते थे। एक बार उस कॉफी की दुकान वाले का सुबह से सिर दुखने लगा, तो उसने अपने बच्चे से कहा कि यार मैं सामने वाली दवाई की दुकान पे जा रहा हूँ, वहां से एक दवाई लेके आता हूँ, मेरा सिर दुख रहा है। तो जब वो दवाई की दुकान पे जाता है दोस्तों, तो देखता है दवाई की दुकानदार नहीं था वहां। उसने वहां बच्चे से पूछा कि भाई तुम्हारा दुकानदार कहाँ है? तो उसने कहा कि वो जो सामने वाली दुकान पे कॉफी पीने गए, क्योंकि सुबह से उनका सिर दुख रहा था। तो देखिए, जब कॉफी वाले का सिर दुखता है तो वो दवाई की दुकान पे जाता है, और जब दवाई की दुकानदार वाले का सिर दुख रहा होता है तो वो कॉफी। मतलब हम क्या लेके घूम रहे होते हैं हमें नहीं पता है। अब देखिए, इसका पार्ट 2 भी है। जब ये आदमी लौट के वापस अपनी दुकान पे जाता है और देखता है कि अरे वो कॉफी पी रहा है, तो पीछे से उसको हल्का सा धक्का लगाता है, उसके कप से कॉफी छलक जाती है। मेरा आपसे प्रश्न है कि उस कप से कॉफी क्यों छलकी? उसने ठीक से नहीं पकड़ा था, या पीछे से धक्का लग गया? दोस्तों, उस कप से कॉफी छलकी क्योंकि उस कप में कॉफी थी। अगर दूध होता तो दूध छलकता, और पानी होता तो पानी छलकता। तो जब सब कुछ अच्छा हो, तब तो हमारे लिए अच्छा रहना बहुत आसान है। लेकिन जब स्थितियां थोड़ी सी विषम हो, परिस्थितियां हमारे अनुकूल ना हो, तो हमारी असलियत तुरंत सामने आ जाएगी कि हम क्या लेके घूम रहे हैं। तो ये जब हम चर्चा करते हैं, जब हम पुस्तकें पढ़ते हैं, जब हम ध्यान करते हैं, मेडिटेशन करते हैं, कुछ अच्छी सत्संग में जाते हैं, पूजा पाठ करते हैं, मंदिर जाते हैं, तो ये सब जो भी आप करें, ये एक थ्योरी को इम्प्रूव करने का एक साधन है। तो मुझे लगता है हमारा जीवन में जो भी हम बाहर दुनिया को हैंडल कर रहे होते हैं वो प्रैक्टिकल है, और जब हम इस तरह की चीजों में होते हैं तो वो थ्योरी इम्प्रूव कर रहे होते हैं। और ये भगवान का काम तो यही है कि वो आपको अलग अलग बार अलग अलग तरह की गेंदें फेंकता रहता है, निरंतर गेंदें फेंकता रहता है। और कभी अगर आप एक गेंद से बीट हो गए तो आप दूसरी गेंद का इंतजार करिए, फिर वो आ ही रही है। और अगर उसको भी आपने ठीक से नहीं खेला तो फिर अगली गेंद आ रही है, और फिर आप अपनी थ्योरी इंप्रूव करें, और फिर हम अगली गेंद खेलने को तैयार हो जाए, कि हम बिना डरे, बिना घबराए, बिना तनाव में आए, अच्छी तरह से उसके खेल को खेलेंगे। आखिर तो बाहर का जीवन खेल ही है, और हमको ये समझना है कि इट इज नॉट बिटवीन मी एंड यू, इट इज ऑल बिटवीन मी एंड माई गॉड, या मी एंड नेचर। तो इसमें हम और आप अलग अलग कुछ है नहीं, और ये समझते हुए ये खेल खेलना है कि भगवान निरंतर अलग अलग तरह की गेंदें हमको फेंकता रहेगा और मृत्यु होने तक हमें पूरे जीवन में वो गेंदों को खेलने का प्रयास करना है और गेंद अच्छी तरह से खेल पाए इसके लिए बीच बीच में अपनी थ्योरी को इम्प्रूव भी करना है। और वो थ्योरी को इम्प्रूव आप पुस्तक पढ़ के कर सकते हैं, किसी अच्छे व्यक्ति की सत्संग में कर सकते हैं, कुछ अपनी तरफ से आप ध्यान और प्राणायाम कर सकते हैं, अच्छी नींद सो सकते हैं, प्रार्थना कर सकते हैं। बहुत सारे इस तरह की छोटी मोटी चीजें हैं जिससे हम अपनी थ्योरी को इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं। और जब हम थ्योरी में थोड़े से इम्प्रूव हो जाएं, तब ऐसी विषम परिस्थितियों में जब धक्का भी लगेगा तो हम रिएक्ट नहीं करेंगे, रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे। तो जो त्वरित होता है, जो तुरंत निकल जाता है, वो रिएक्शन होता है और रिएक्शन में हमेशा हिंसा होती है। रिएक्शन will almost always result into some sort of violence. One of the purpose of our lives should be, can we live our life in a non-violent manner? और आप ये देखिए कि आप अपने कलीग्स के साथ, दोस्तों के साथ, बाहर के आपके क्लाइंट्स के साथ नॉन वायलेंट रहकर जीना थोड़ा सा आसान है। आप अपने घर वालों को उनका मूड खराब ना करें, उनको इमोशनली अपसेट ना करें, ये थोड़ा ज्यादा चैलेंजिंग है। और आपको डाउट है तो आप पूछ लीजिए अपने घर वालों से। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगर खासतौर से हिंदुस्तान में अगर 100 लेडीज से पूछा जाए कि आपको आपके जीवन में सबसे ज्यादा आंसू किस शख्स ने दिए, तो शायद 100 में से 90 अपने हस्बैंड की तरफ मुंह करेंगे। तो वो भी एक तरह का है, तो हिंसा ही, वायलेंस है, इमोशनल ट्रॉमा तो है। दैट इज लिटिल मोर डिफिकल्ट टू अवॉइड। The third and even more difficult thing is to not hurt, try not to hurt people who are not even visible to us. So there are situations that there is a possibility that the system of which we are a part itself may be faulty. What if there's a problem, there's a system, there's a problem in the system which we are following and which we believe is all fine, and maybe that system is increasing the inequality present in the society. So then we are a part of that system. So somewhere we have to take the blame, and that is another type of violence that we create to those who are not even visible to us. This is difficult to avoid such violence. And the most difficult thing to avoid is to avoid violence or damage to the non-living aspects of the world, the nature, the ecology. And it is a great responsibility for us that we try to hurt the atmosphere as less as possible so that the earth remains a worth living place for the future generations to come. So when I talk about all these things, the solution would come out only in one form, and that is simple living. Now, if you have toys of happiness which have these 5 qualities: simple, inexpensive, socially acceptable, easily available, and natural, then you are actually a rich man, because now you won't be hurt easily, because you have these toys in your life which are simple, inexpensive, socially acceptable, easily available, and natural. You feel good reading a book. So this toy of happiness is simple, natural, easily available. It has all those qualities. So if you have those type of happiness, toys of happiness, like you feel good in walking, you feel good in simple, small things in your life, then obviously you don't need to make it complicated, and you won't be hurting people around you, and you won't be hurt yourself, because if you will be hurt, you will be hurting others. So now, before I end up this part of my talk, I would like to say that, we need to have a feeling in our mind that I wish good for everyone. I will not like to hurt anyone, and I won't get hurt easily. Because if I get hurt easily, then obviously I will hurt somebody. तो ये भी बहुत जरूरी है कि we don't give this right to any Tom, Dick and Harry, not to many people, not to many situations which can spoil our mood. हाँ, अपने को खुश करने का अधिकार सबको दे, अपने को मूड को स्पॉइल करने का अधिकार बहुत सारी स्थितियों को और व्यक्तियों को हम ना दें. And this could be the way that we can live in bliss or peace. लेकिन often we talk about happiness or pleasure. Now these are very superficial things mostly. Most of the times happiness or pleasure means nothing but the inflation of our ego. और आज मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई, मेरे बेटे ने आज बहुत अच्छा किया. This is just nothing but your ego inflation. आपको आज खूब तालियां मिल गई, that is also ego inflation. आपने एक नई कार खरीद के खुश हो गई, that is also ego inflation. So most of the happiness is nothing but when our ego gets strength. On the other end, all unhappiness are nothing but trauma to our egos. So it's all ego basically. When it is fulfilled, the demands are fulfilled, then you are happy. And when it is, and there is nothing else in myself actually. आप मेरे में मेरे ईगो के अलावा हर्ट होने जैसा है क्या? तो अगली बार अगर मुझे ये नहीं कहना चाहिए तूने मेरा दिल तोड़ दिया, मुझे ये कहना चाहिए तूने मेरे ईगो को ठेस पहुंचाई, मेरा अहम को ठेस पहुंचाई. We should accept the fact that there is nothing inside me that can get hurt other than ego. So this is the game of ego, and on the other end, something that can dissolve my ego gives me peace and bliss, and that is like nature, awe, a moment of awe. Or there can be many others similar examples, like meditation, like a good sleep, or your hobby in which पैसा और प्रसिद्धि शामिल नहीं है. Anything that you do not for money, not for glamour. So that can be a situation where you're where you get peace or where you get bliss, and where there is no game of ego. So we all should try our best that we stay in a peaceful mood. दुनिया का काम ही है हमको बहुत एक्साइट करने का कि यार ये तो बहुत अच्छा होता है, कोविड तो बहुत तेजी से आ रहा है और बहुत ज्यादा ऐसा है, और कोविड कुछ नहीं होता है. You know, mostly the truth is somewhere in between, but we don't like to listen to the truth. We are mostly conditioned to either go on this side or on that side. क्योंकि बीच वाली चीज जहाँ पे ट्रूथ है वो हमको बोरिंग लग सकती है, बट सत्य मध्य में होता है अधिक. पर हमारा दिमाग का कंडीशनिंग ऐसा है कि उसको बिल्कुल एक्साइटमेंट चाहिए, और एक्साइटमेंट के लिए बिल्कुल हम एक्सट्रीम पे जाना चाहते हैं. तो मेरा आप सबसे निवेदन है कि हम सब लोग थोड़ा शांत रहने का भी प्रयास करें. जहां से भी हमें इस चीज का आभास हो कि बाहर की दुनिया उतनी महत्वपूर्ण, उतनी शक्तिशाली, उतनी इंपॉर्टेंट, उतनी स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं है जितना कि लगती है, उस चीज का हमें फायदा उठाना चाहिए. वो ऐसी चीजें हमें ढूंढना चाहिए, वो ऐसी पुस्तकें, ऐसी सत्संग, ऐसा काम, ऐसी कंपनी, जिन चीजों से हमें ऐसा महसूस होता हो कि बाहर की दुनिया उतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं है जितनी कि हमको बताई जाती है. आई थिंक दैट इज सत्संग, एंड दैट इज द बिगिनिंग ऑफ स्पिरिचुअलिटी. एंड आई थिंक some amount of such type of understanding about life is important for a peaceful living. और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि a peaceful, fear-free heart is also a healthy heart. आप सब लोग बहुत स्वस्थ रहें, प्रसन्न रहें, और नए वर्ष की आप सब लोगों को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. मेरी तरफ से नमस्कार. If there are any questions, I'll be very happy to answer.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Bharat. It was great talk. If anyone has questions, please, they can unmute and ask, or they can ask in the chat window as well.
Hello.
Hey, hi.
So my father has had chest pain for several years, for 5 to 6 years. So it started when when he would rush to catch a bus in US here near me. So when he was in a hurry, then the chest pain would start. Then he would slow down, and then the pain would go away. So beyond a certain rate of speed, he would always get the chest pain. So I took him to the doctors, and we did that. They did all those tests, stress test and ultrasound and all that, and they could not find anything. Now this condition has gone on for so many years. It's recently only getting a little bit worse. Now when he walks on a slope, then he gets chest pain, which he didn't
So
do.
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, because this is a personal question. So it is difficult to answer in a specific question like this, but I can only suggest that at some point of time, maybe your doctor might ask for a CT coronary angiogram or a coronary angiogram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
know, if the disability involves the daily life routine, I think that is the right time to do the final check and not just depend on ECG, echo, or stress test. So either a CT coronary angiogram should be done or a conventional coronary angiogram should be done.
Okay. Thank you very much, doctor.
I think Namita has a question. You want to ask it, Namita, or?
Sure. Yeah, I just put it in the chat also. I was wondering, like, I know that recently some kidney transplant has been successful. I was just reading some places with pigs, kidney transplant was successful. And I was just curious if that has been the case for the heart too, or if there's
no, unfortunately, that's not the case. In fact, a lot of now efforts are being made on making better and better types of artificial hearts, which are already available in some forms because of the lot of demand of heart transplant patients, and there are not enough donors available. So artificial hearts are being developed that they can keep the person alive for relatively longer time, say 5 to 10 years or more. So progress is being done on that side, not from animals. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, yeah, question. This is Vijay. So I've heard something, I was just wondering if that is true, is that if you have an artery that is 80% blocked and another artery that is 50% blocked, you are more likely to get heart attack from the 50% artery because the 80% is likely to have collaterals versus the 50%.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say that this statement is partly correct. So 80% artery would not have collaterals. So that's not true. And this is also not true that 80% would be safe and 50% would be at risk. But this is true that many heart attacks do occur because of a sudden rupture of the plaque, which was initially producing only 40 or 50% blockage. That is correct. So these plaques, we measure them, how significantly they are occluding the artery, 40%, 50%, 60%. But there is one more aspect which we are not talking, and that is whether they are stable plaques or unstable plaques. Unfortunately, we don't know how to identify stable versus unstable plaques. So the stable plaques would grow slow. So from 30% to 40% to 80% to 90%, they may take decades, and therefore they don't normally suddenly rupture to cause heart attack. On the other end, unstable plaque can suddenly rupture from 50% to 100% within a minute and produce a heart attack. Now, there may be too many of these 40%, 50% blockages, and out of those, only rare few would cause heart attack. So therefore, you can't fix all those 50% blockages also. That is also not the great idea. And hence, one should not feel that you are all fine if you have put a stent, because you may still have some 40, 50, 60% blockages left in the arteries because we don't put stent there. And one of them can rupture to cause a heart attack. And therefore, we should be on aspirin and statins for life to prevent sudden heart attack in these patients. But that was a very interesting and nice question. Thank you so much.
No, but one clarification. So what I get is that the risk is about the same, whether it is 50 or 80%. So what is the point of stenting the 80% artery?
Oh, that's a fantastic question again. Very nice. So only if it is producing angina or causing a heart failure or some ischemia of the heart, yes. If it is completely asymptomatic and the gentleman can do all the normal activities without any chest discomfort, or if the a nuclear test or a stress test has not shown significant abnormalities, I think there's really no advantage of putting a stent in that 80% blockage. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can people have blockages even if they don't have high cholesterol? The answer is yes, of course. So high cholesterol produces blockages. So, patients who have heart attack or blockages, out of those patients, only about 30% patients have really high cholesterol. So there are a lot of patients who do not have high cholesterol and still they have blockages. That's right. So absence of high cholesterol doesn't mean that you will not get heart attack. So there are 5 risk factors. So you have like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, then you have diabetes, smoking, and family history.
Okay, one more question is, I have heard that some people say that the high LDL is a higher risk factor and some people say that the low HDL is a higher risk factor. Which one is true?
That's also a very good question. I'm impressed. Yeah, the answer is, of course, both are important. But it is in Indian population, they have found out that low HDL and high triglyceride was more common, and low HDL is really important risk factor in Indian population. That's right.
But how do you raise HDL?
Physical activities. There are people who want to raise HDL by taking some amount of alcohol, and I tell them that there are other better methods and safer methods to do that. And regular physical activities would keep the HDL on the higher side. So my younger brother who is sitting next to me, his HDL, I saw his report yesterday, and his HDL was somewhere around 65. And 65 of HDL is extremely good. He's a teetotaler. But yes, he's a regular exercise and marathoner. So physical activity keeps your any HDL which is above 60 is very good actually.
But
I want
diet
to know if
cannot.
we are drinking in alcohol. There comes alcohol. See, we talk about that. Which type of alcohol? Whiskey, wine. What is the best option? Rum, amount. So the Sajal, are you sitting with your wife? I mean, like you want me to say something to your wife and you want to get a green card from me? Look, it is like this.
So diet cannot increase HDL?
Not very significantly, but yes, there are few suggestions that maybe nuts can help, and some sort of a few people have suggested that some type of oils can also help in increasing HDL, but they are really not very significant. So I don't think one should consume more oil just to increase HDL or consume more than a handful of nuts in a day. So लोग पूछते हैं कि कितना ड्राई फ्रूट्स या नट्स लें. So my answer is एक मुट्ठी में जितना है उतना लीजिए एक दिन में. So let me try to answer this question on alcohol. See, so it's not an easy question to answer, first of all. I mean, briefly, I can tell you that what we know currently is this, that there is really no guideline or such suggestion that any cardiologist or any doctor can give that please take some amount of alcohol to improve your health. So that is a wrong statement. and no recommendation should be made to recommend alcohol to a teetotaler to improve the health. So that data is not there, and that is a very big no by American Heart Association to all the cardiologists. Now, somebody is already taking alcohol in a small amount, and that small amount essentially would mean not more than 2 small pegs. That means not more than 60 ml scotch by men, and not more than 30 ml scotch by women at a particular time. And I would suggest not more than 2 or 3 times a week is possibly neither harmful nor useful, and that might be safe. But again, there are a lot of other things, like when you are taking alcohol, you may take your late dinner, you may eat some more fatty food which is rich in salt, you may sleep late, you may not get up in the morning, you may snore more in the night, and the snoring itself is a problem. And those people who take alcohol often snore more, and people who do not otherwise smoke, I know that sometimes they smoke when they take alcohol. So the package of alcohol sometimes becomes worse than the alcohol itself. And also it takes away your time from your family and so other social aspects. So I think all into taken consideration, one should not really feel that alcohol is any good. And if you at all consume alcohol, I think it should be done with great responsibility. Which alcohol is best? No, there is nothing like that. I mean, almost all are same. One doesn't get addicted very easily to wine. I have not seen people drinking one full bottle of wine at a time, but you can easily find people who take 4 or 6 large pegs of whiskey. So, maybe addiction to wine is not as bad as addiction to scotch. So maybe that is one of the reasons, but otherwise they are all by and large same. The amount is different.
So I have a question. Is potassium-rich food considered better for heart?
Yeah, partly yes. There were studies to show that potassium-rich food can help in reducing even blood pressure for patients who have high blood pressure, but it's not something very significantly proven. So it's a subtle recommendation. It's not a strong scientific evidence for that. In fact, one should be careful not to take too much of potassium-rich food, because if these few of these patients do have any kidney problem later on, then all these patients would have high potassium. High potassium is a killer. So the normal potassium level is up to 5 to 5.5. Anything above 6 is dangerous, and anything above 7 becomes life-threatening. However, this happens only in patients who have kidney problems. So anybody who doesn't have a kidney issue, normally whatever amount of fruit like banana or coconut water you consume, it is unlikely that your potassium would go in abnormal range. But if you have a kidney issue, even small minor kidney issue, then one should be watchful. Now there I can see that few things more written. Impact of desi ghee. Yeah. My father used to say, यार किसी क्वेश्चन का जवाब नहीं आता तो उस क्वेश्चन की तारीफ कर दिया करो. So at least I would say, what a good question you have asked. I mean, I can only say that, take small amount and ensure that the ghee is of good quality. One good thing about ghee is that it doesn't break at high temperature. Indian cooking is high temperature cooking. So if you are using ghee, then at least it doesn't become toxic at high temperature, and that is the one advantage of ghee. You can take 1 teaspoon of ghee or butter or makhan in a day. 1 teaspoon, that is around 5 grams. If a person always have high pulse rate, it's a sign of bad heart-rated health. I recorded a small message today, which I'm going to post on my Instagram very soon, exactly on this, when I was hiking on Black Mountain today morning. So I have this habit of posting 1 minute video on Instagram every week. And my Instagram handle is Dr_Rawat. I want to tell you in short, Tina, that Most of the times, high pulse rate is not because of your heart, it is because of your mind. ये दिल की बात नहीं है, मन की बात होती है अधिकतर. तो उसका एक तरीका ये है कि आप अपने दिल की धड़कन को मेजर करें किसी ऐप से या किसी ऑक्सीजन सैचुरेशन प्रोब से, और अगर वो 150 से ऊपर है तो डेफिनेटली हार्ट का प्रॉब्लम होने की संभावना है. पर अगर वो 90, 80, 100, 110 के आसपास है और फिर भी आपको धड़कन महसूस हो रही है, तो इसका मतलब आपका मन इस वक्त रिलैक्स नहीं है, and that is the issue rather than blaming it on the heart. There is a lot of increased mental health issues during COVID, especially in children. That's right. So it is important, and we already covered a lot about it. I think we should also try to ensure that we keep our children involved in some physical activity and ensure a good sleep. I think if we take care of these two things, we can prevent a lot of mental problems from our children. But it is very important that we keep them physically active, and we should play some games with them. Maybe indoor, we can play something indoor, but play something that that can make them physically tired. So you can do yoga with them. You can do some other type of exercise, indoor exercises with them.
Dr. Rawat, I have a question. This is
Yes.
Satish.
Yes.
Here, at least in my experience in the United States, doctors prescribe statins very easily and maybe almost in a trigger happy way. Is management of cholesterol really that critical of an ingredient in heart
Yes.
health, or we should kind of just ignore these statins?
Yes, Mr. Satish, it's a fantastic question, and I am myself into fitness and preventive cardiology, and I really don't want to support industry too much. But then let me tell you again here, as far as cholesterol and statins are concerned, truth is somewhere in between. So it is not correct that cholesterol is all good and safe and very good. It is also not correct that every patient should be given statins. So American Heart Association has put down clear-cut guidelines. Anybody who has diabetes should be on statin regardless of cholesterol levels. Anybody who has got a stent in place, bypass surgery or a stroke should have statins for life regardless of cholesterol levels. And if you don't have any type of these diseases and your LDL cholesterol is above 190, I repeat, above 190, then you should be on statins. So that is where the American Heart Association guidelines are. In few cases, if there is a family history, strong family history of heart disease, if the person has got high blood pressure, and if you still are not sure if your LDL was say 160, 170, and you're not sure you should be on statin or not, one way is you can get your coronary calcium score. So here I want to tell you there's something very important. It is called coronary calcium score. It is a very simple test. In India, it will not cost you more than maybe 3,000 rupees or something. There's no dye injected. It is not an angiogram. It is 2 minutes test in and out. If the coronary calcium score is 0, which is normal, even if your LDL is 170, 180, you don't need statins. But if it is 400 or 600, and even if your LDL is 110, you should be on statin. So coronary calcium score can help in such a few of these borderline cases. Do vegetable oils cause inflammation while ghee does not? Well, that is not something I would agree to. This is true that we should consume less amount of oil. There are people who are very much into vegan diet, and they would not recommend even ghee or any animal product, because they really feel that or any type of animal product will have its own set of problems. So I would only suggest that it is all right to take small amount of oil or ghee, but really keep it as small as possible. How important is to cut down salt? Yes, absolutely. I told you around 5 grams, not more than that. So, it should be very clearly understood that anything that is salt rich, like namkeen biscuit, sev namkeen, achar, papad, chutney, we should try to cut down as much as possible. And that is true that high intake of salt can increase the risk of high blood pressure. Vaccine on heart attack. Neither it helps, neither it causes heart attack. So I would say, I assume that you're talking about COVID vaccines. I think it will have neutral effect on the risk of heart attack. I have this book written by myself on healthier lifestyle for healthier heart, which is available in English, Nepali, and Hindi languages. And anybody who would like to have a PDF of that book, I can send a free PDF on WhatsApp. So if you send me a WhatsApp message request, I will send you the PDF. So that is, you can read that. I have written, and I'm revising that. Whatever I have right now, I can forward it to. Flaxseed oil, yeah, you know, the best oil for Indian cooking would be groundnut, मूंगफली का, तिल का, सरसों का, coconut का. So these would be the 4 oils: मूंगफली, til, सरसों का, और नारियल का. Because all of them are stable at high temperature. Again, I'm telling you, we don't need to really consume too much of oil, because oil is already available in the vegetarian food that we have. Anything again that is processed, more you process and worse it becomes. So as much raw and as much natural thing that we can eat. So even if oil, it should not be refined. It should be like, you know, cold press, the filtered oil. So that is better. Now, having said all this, I would like to tell you one thing, that whatever you eat or don't eat, you know, diet will have this much impact on your heart or health. So it is important, but the overall health is this much. So there will be, you can't cover everything through diet. So I'm not saying diet is not important, but I'm also saying that don't get too much involved with the diet part also. There are lot many people who are not taking care of diet and they are still fine. And there are people who have been very health conscious, diet conscious, and they still suffer some heart issues. So there are other factors also which are very important. So I should not really tell you that just you know, spoil your entire sleep on this. But as much as possible, use your common sense. Don't eat too much, especially in the night hours. I told you, eat light, eat early in the dinners, and avoid sugar, avoid salt, and take around 2 to 3 teaspoons of oil or ghee, all put together in a day. Laugh many times a day, pray, sleep well. आसानी से गुस्सा उस्सा ना करें. अपनी बीवी बच्चों से पूछें कि आपका गुस्सा पहले से कम हो रहा है कि बढ़ रहा है. I think all these things are important. And at the end, even if we do everything, still God will have his own share of uncertainty that is in his hands. And we cannot win everything. So the best cardiologist can get himself a heart attack, and the best cancer oncologist can get a cancer also. So everything is not known by the science. And I don't think we will reach that level anytime. The single most important factor in preventing heart disease, Vijay Gupta. Well, I don't know whether if you are talking about population as a mass. So if it was a question asked by, say, community medicine, the answer would have been stop tobacco. So possibly tobacco cessation is the single most important factor that can be used to prevent heart disease. For 50 plus, it is advisable or not to take heartbeat to 170 and above. Yeah, you know, no, I don't think so. 50 and above, 220 minus age. So I think they should stay around 150, not more than that. They can touch a little bit 160, 170, but it is better to keep around 150. So it was nice, interactive session. I'm very happy to listen to all of you, and I really wish that you follow these simple measures. आप अपन सबका और अपने घर वालों का बीपी का ध्यान रखें, HbA1c लेवल, शुगर का ध्यान रखें, रेगुलर कुछ एक्सरसाइज करें, दिन में 8-10 बार ठाका ला के हंसें, कुछ अच्छी पुस्तकें पढ़ें, और अपने एक फैमिली फिजिशियन को फॉलो करें, और बहुत सारी जांचें और बहुत सारी दवाइयों से जहां तक हो सके बचें. That's what I would like to say. Thank you, Sajal. Thank you, Namrata. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Rawat. One last question. I think you talked about family history, right? So what constitutes a family history? Like, is it like your parents, like God type? Because that's very general.
Lovely. Nice question. I should really tell you that very interesting and intelligent question have been asked during this talk. So the definition of family history is that if your male first relation, like father or brother, has suffered a heart attack below the age of 55 years, or a female relative has suffered a heart attack below the age of 65 years. So that is also, there's a difference for male relatives and female relatives. And anybody who has developed a heart disease which was diagnosed after that age actually does not constitute the positive family history. So it's a premature heart disease amongst a family member. Male less than 55 years, female family member less than 65 years, brothers, sisters, mom and dad. So we normally don't include uncles and aunts and other people. I mean, that is the scientific, you can take them, but then that history is not as important. Uncle's history would not be that important as father's history. Vegetarian food or non-vegetarian food better for healthy heart? Okay, so I would say that there's not very strong data to suggest that non-vegetarian food is hugely wrong. If you eat carefully, then non-vegetarian food may also be okay. And if you are careless, even vegetarian food is not okay. So about half of the population of India is vegetarian or largely vegetarian. And still India is number one amongst the heart disease patients in the world. So that is definitely not helping, because even vegetarian people can be careless about their food habits. But you know, the point is about the nature and also ecology. So I personally would promote a vegetarian diet. But let me tell you, I am removing this particular chapter from my scientific book in the next edition, because I really don't think that I would like to tell people, if you are vegetarian, you are safe, because vegetarian food also can be unsafe. So I don't want to give that message. Just because you are vegetarian, you are not safe.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Dr. Rawat. Any final questions from anyone?
Chalo, good. So pleasure talking to all of you. Wish you all a very happy new year. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Stay healthy, stay happy. और बहुत सीरियस होके, बहुत ज्यादा परेशान होके छोटी छोटी बातों पे, या अपने छोटा सा बीपी या छोटे से कोलेस्ट्रॉल से परेशान ना हो, किसी एक अच्छे डॉक्टर से, और हमेशा ऐसे डॉक्टर से मिले जो आपको जांचें लिखे कम, दवाइयां लिखे कम, और डूज और डोंट्स बताए ज्यादा. Thank you so much.